This is Joe's Corner 76. I will be discussing the human condition in all its phases. In order to change it, you have to be involved. Have you ever thought at some point in your life, is this the big one? You're going through life and everything seems stable. Your family's okay, your finances are in good shape, and most importantly, your health seems to be fine. There seems to be no major health crisis, and you just assume the state will continue. You wake up the next day and you feel a little unsettled. You feel you have a mild cold that you usually get over fairly quickly. This doesn't happen. You feel worse. Off you go to the family doctor who prescribes some antibiotics, and he says, it should clear up fairly quickly. It doesn't. As a matter of fact, you're now at the point where you can hardly breathe, barely take a few steps without feeling you're going to pass out. You've never faced something like this before. You wonder, is this going to take me out? You can't get in touch with the family doctor. The only alternative is the emergency department at the hospital. You get there, and immediately you see the full waiting room. Don't they know I could croak if I don't get attended to right away? They don't. They book me into the emergency room, and what they offer is a seat to wait until I'm called. I feel like I'm slowly slip-sliding away. Will I last until I get called? It seems like an eternity before they call me. Great. Finally, I will be looked at. But no, I'm just moved to another room. Panic sets in. I'm not ready yet to face the big one. All of a sudden, a doctor appears. He's very matter of fact and doesn't seem to appreciate this could be the big one. An x-ray is taken. Some medicine is administered. My breathing eases somewhat. The doctor confirms I have pneumonia and it will take a while to recover. I was relieved it wasn't a big one, but it really got me to thinking. We go through life taking a lot of things for granted. We don't often stop and realize life is made up of good times and bad times. And most of all, we don't think of the many blessings we have. Some of these may seem mundane until you open your eyes and your mind. We, in most cases, have more than enough to eat. We take that for granted. What about our fellow citizens who are forced to use food banks, or even those around the world facing starvation? We are lucky enough to have shelter we can afford. It doesn't take over half or more of our income to get shelter. Look at those who are homeless. We have been fortunate enough to get help if we had mental health issues. There are thousands who can't, and they end up on the street or become addicted. There is nowhere the majority of these people can get help. We have to stop and count our blessing each and every day. We have to realize that with just a twist of fate, what we have can be gone in an instant. What are we going to do before the big one really comes? Maybe not taking things and people for granted, but rather valuing them now. Maybe we'll be less judgmental about those around us who are going through life crisis and understand it could be us. Let's help them. We probably should worry less about the big one and more about the now and how we live until then. Live in a blessed state, not an unaware one. You can follow me on Facebook, X, and Instagram at Joe's Corner 76. You can hear me on Spotify and YouTube at Joe's Corner 76. If you enjoyed this podcast, tell your friends. There are many more you can hear on Spotify and YouTube at Joe's Corner 76.